Can give an interchange infringement. Not sure about those rules, but yeah, that's interesting vision.
Well, you've pressed those rules about entering fields in the arena of late, Brucey.
No,
you would
Jesse
know.
White. That was Jesse White, not me.
Final term of this top-of-the-table clash underway. A bang wide.
Good lead up.
Godzak couldn't quite find the handle. Beams. Clark. Wobbly torpedo inside 50 doors. Beaten again by Talia. We head downstairs, Glenn Jakovic.
Dwayne, interestingly, both clubs did not activate their sub at three-quarter time. The intensity in the three-quarter time huddles for both clubs was enormous. Looking forward to this last quarter.
See, I'm a bit with you, Dermot, with Douglas. I mean, gee, when the game's so close and tight, there's always a worry that if you get an injury after you activate your sub, but Douglas is a quality class player that with this game would really suit someone of his capabilities.
Maybe a three-quarter time they've told somebody, you've got 4 minutes, 5 minutes, that's it.
Yeah.
Callanan.
The old pull your finger out.
Well, the old give us 5 of your best and then you're off.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, pull your finger, that's play on not far enough. Out on the ground, I just pressed my finger into it and went into the second knuckle. Now, that is the softest ground I've seen this season. It's going to take a bit of a toll on these boys running.
There's Adelaide 2012 version in a nutshell. They hunted that down with pressure and gained possession. Thompson to Johncock in the pocket.
Oh, he sneaked out the back door then.
Central ball. Petrenko, tough one to mark. Little nudge on Thomas.
I'll tell you what, the ability of both sides, we've touched on it all night, Dermot, to make an effort to get to a contest that looks like it's done and dusted. You know, it looks like a ball's going to be marked. All of a sudden you'll see a Crows player cut in front. You'll see a Collingwood player make a tackle. The defensive actions tonight have been exceptional.
An early opportunity there for Johncock wasted. A game like this is going to take cool heads and make the right decisions.
Well done by Goldsack. A lead up again to give relief. A relief target to the half-back player. That should be a free.
Got away with it. Indoors a possession, but again, it's not a decisive one.
He's involving himself without getting stats on the board. Well done.
Didak, good centering kick, hits the spot. Pendlebury the collect, slips the tackle, bends it around the body. That could be priceless.
He is a star.
You called it, Brucey. You said it was going to take something exceptional in skill to separate these two teams. This bloke, with that passage of play, you could argue has claims on right now, given that we've got Ablett, given that we've got some extraordinary players playing in this competition, the freakish skills of Rioli and the likes. This bloke is at the top of the tree.
Yeah, I tell you, if you're a Collingwood supporter, it must be an absolute pleasure to come week in, week out and see this fella play. But I did like the contest too. You touched on it. The contest from the big fellas. 2 contests there from Dawes and Cloak, and then Didak's class to get it out the front of Pendlebury.
Scores level again. 44,500 on the edge of their seats right now. A full house. And they're watching the game they were hoping to get. Didak. Blair. Didak. Cut off. Rutten. Fumble. Adelaide under some pressure and he gets a break. Pushing the back to Rutten.
Now we see how Adelaide run and spread. This is it. They roll away from him. This is where Douglas, if he comes on, he's going to give them that fresh set of wheels to actually run hard into space, and maybe Collingwood can't catch him.
Maxwell, not it long enough. Collingwood has won its last 7 games here at AAMI Stadium. It has not lost to Adelaide for 6 years, Collingwood.
So they travel well, don't they?
What about the breeze, Jacko? Is that a factor in the last quarter?
I think it's dropped, Roosie. Yeah, it has, certainly down here. Jamie Ellett's just taken off his green vest, guys, so expect him to be into the game very soon.
Flick back by Sinclair was clever. Tackle was just as good. Flicks it up, but he missed. Didak. Doughty got a shin on it. Thomas at full stretch. Dawes on 50. This could be his big moment.
Now here's a monster kick. Accuracy, yeah, he's hit or miss. Get it up there, give it a ride. A little bit of that breeze, as Jacko said, it's dropped off, but it is as he watches it go away from him, it'll bend a bit right to left. Hits it sweetly, it'll go.
Had an ugly year in front of goal. He's kicked 4 goals, 8 this year, and a few out of bounds on the force. He has barely seen it tonight. With so many stars, if it's not their game, they make it their moment. But he can't make it his. Collingwood in front by behind.
Brian, Jamie Allett activated into the game for Fasola. Alex Fasola out of the game.
Thanks, Jacko. So the first gamer, Jamie Elliott from Euroa, gets his big chance in one of the biggest games of the year. And there he is.
He's a little whipper, isn't he?
And still no sign of Douglas. It looks like he's still got the tracksuit on down there, Jacko, is he?
Yes, he certainly still has. He's actually in the race here, just doing some handball drills. So he's ready to go.
You have a look at young Elliott, you'd swear he'd be agile and quick because there's not a lot of him.
Back into play. Dangerfield couldn't make something of that. Blair, Thomas, Pendlebury, touched the call. McKay left it behind, and it works. Yench, Jacobs, Riley, a wobbly bomb. Shaw got a hand on it. Right, knocks it to his own advantage. Again, it's a hot ball to win, and it's been a hot all night, and Pendlebury just keeps on winning it. Bang, buffeted Clark, dispossessed. Jenkins tries to burst free. Tuvey in the congestion, trying to build a ship in the bottle, some of these players. No room to move. Jenkins to half forward, jumped towards the boundary by side bottom.
Saw Keith.
And we'll get a ball in, and he is. Keith's hurt. He's holding his knee.
The umpire seen, cited that it is causing him a lot of pain.
He's in trouble.
Oh, yeah. He gets pushed onto his right. Gee, it's hard to pick from there. I reckon it's done on the push.
Just collapsed on him, didn't it?
Just given way. Looks like it's given way.
Yeah.
As you've heard,
That
Richard
one
Douglas
there.
in the game.
Just as he planted, wasn't it?
Let's hope it's just a pinch on a cartilage or something like that, which can seriously hurt. So that's going to put a spanner in the works down back, though.
Well, they've already got a long injury list. We've talked about it earlier tonight. We've got some of their superstars like Dane Swan, Luke Ball out, but some of their defenders, Tarrant not playing, Brown, Reid not playing, Ben Johnson, their delivery man from defence, and there it is.
Yeah,
Keith
just
might
gave
not
way.
be available for a while either.
Well, and we spoke earlier just what a powerhouse that Tippett is. He's using body going for the footy. In a legal sense, just pushes him to compress that outside of the right knee.
And now, if they had their sub available, they'd activate it now, but they've activated it 5 minutes maybe too soon.
Yeah, good point, Dwayne. And I think just after, Jack, Elliott came on, I think Douglas came on
Richard
as well,
Douglas has been activated in the game. Graham Johncock activated out.
Yeah, really good. And you can see why coaches are now reluctant to use that sub, because you just can waste it. Not waste it, because you're never wasting a fresh player, Dermot, but particularly if a player then comes off afterwards. So it's a really tricky situation for coaches to find themselves.
It's not a waste, it's a disadvantage.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And it's almost seemed like that Sanderson was waiting for Buckley to make his move, and then thought, OK, well, if they get an injury now, they're in trouble. So if we make Douglas and we get one, it's even again. So probably a real tactical move there by Sanderson to use his sub after Bucks has used his.
What do we do now? Do we push Goldsack back? He's defended before. He's around 6'3". He's not a massive guy, but I don't know if he's going to be capable of taking on Tippett. You'd almost say, right, Maxwell, you go back, and that's a big ask as well. And Goldsack, you try and take Jenkins at centre-half back. So they've got to... Gee, in terms of size and shape, it's shuffling the deck chairs on the Titanic down there. If the ball comes in nicely, high, and to advantage of forward.
Yeah, the only one that's size-wise would match up is Dawes, and Dawes hasn't played down back at all. So that's probably even a bigger risk than taking Goldsack down there, because you need those natural defensive instincts of which Goldsack has. He has played on some big bodies before, but he's played mainly as a forward this year, so I doubt whether they will use Dawes to do it, but he is the one that could match up body size for body size. Yeah, disappointing. Yeah, it's been terrific this year. He's really improved. I spoke to Rodney Eade about him last Monday night, just inquiring about him, his development. They were really pleased with the way he's going. He's been a really important player for them. Without Tarrant this year, Reed's gone out. So, look, let's just hope that it's not as bad as perhaps we think at the moment. You know, when a guy gets taken off on a stretcher like that, you obviously think the worst. Let's hope that it's not that. Let's hope that it is something a fair bit better than what perhaps it looks at the moment.
Bye not far away for both these teams, so they get a chance to get a few injured players and recovering. With Adelaide, they have Fremantle next week, and then their bye, and Collingwood have the Gold Coast next week, then Melbourne, and then they have their bye.
Just an answer to on this. The car does not go down the visitors' race. It will not fit.
Yeah.
If you were to go to the other side of the ground, if it was an Adelaide player, they can drive him straight off and straight into the rooms, literally. Here, now we have to wait for the car to go back to that Adelaide side of.
And Tim, it's fair to say, if you do pinch a cartilage, which I think you have done in the past, it's more painful than, I guess, if you've done an ACL.
Yeah, they hurt. Yeah.
There is Adelaide's next 4 games. Fremantle, well, next 3 games with that bye that I was talking about. Fremantle in a week's rest. They could be in top spot by that bye. And for Nathan Buckley, they could be equal top tonight as well if they win this and other results go their way. And then the Gold Coast and Melbourne.
So that man there has put Maxwell to Tippett, a huge ask. He's gone with Goldsack back to centre-half back now.
This game's been played at a breakneck pace from the outset. 15 minutes left. It's get on and hang on. Top spot on the ladder up for grabs. Free kick, Collingwood back pocket.
What that does too, which is difficult for Bucks to do, or the defensive coach, it takes Maxwell away from that third man, that defender that can release, and it makes him really a one-on-one defender, which is not a great one-on-one defender, Maxwell.
And there's a one-on-one to illustrate it. Tippett beat him. Vince, poor pleasure. High inside 50. Tippett attacks it. Took Harry O'Brien's arm.
Tell you what, if he cannoned into him then and took him out, they would not want to lose one more defender, Collingwood. Just like a corked back or buttock or something like that type of contest. Well done, Harry. Wore a big one in the back of the head.
Crowd roaring. Adelaide win it back. No mark to Vince. In fact, it was McKay. Play on was the call. To the outer side, and Talia again with a fist away from Dawes, and again Dawes is irate.
You just sense with this opportunity that Adelaide Crows get the next goal, the 19th man being their crowd, will really give them a lift.
Nine centimetres the difference now between Tippett and Maxwell if the high ball comes in a one-on-one.
Henderson. High ball doesn't come high enough and long enough. First game of Williams stumps it out.
It just seems to have taken a little bit of the sting out of Collingwood. They're down by a point. But we're just reading signs out on the ground. They have had no ball rush forward for Collingwood for quite some time.
Williams bangs it towards the wing and it rolls out. Not deliberate, ball in.
And Harry O'Brien looks like he's dropping back at the stoppages. He's back inside defensive 50, standing in front of where Maxwell, here he is there, he's talking. He's standing in front of where Maxwell and Tippett is, so he'll try and go third up every time, give Maxwell a bit of a chop out.
Beams to Blair. Collingwood players run. Thomas couldn't quite get away. Beams. Blair again to his own advantage. Tucked up against the boundary, collects, kicks. Wellingham also tucked against the boundary. Disciplined centering kick. Goldsack goes up. Jacobs goes up. Hits the deck. Side bottom. Shaw just slipped on the kick. And it rolls through for a behind. Collingwood by 2.
It'll be really interesting if Adelaide make an adjustment and keep Harry O'Brien honest, because I think a one-on-one contest, a genuine one-on-one between Tippett and Maxwell, certainly very much in the Crows' favour. But if O'Brien can get off his man and help out Maxwell, that's what Buckley will be looking for from a Collingwood point of view.
Thompson to Rutten. McKay. Plenty of time left. Players know it'll be a long quarter. Hugs the boundary. Jenkin, Tippett, neither could mark it. Goldsack shrugs that tackle, throws it away. Sinclair attacked that beautifully. Wellingham kept it in front. Looks up, past target. Thomas, Blair, Beams. He's had a big night at the office. Can he complete the deal? Collingwood by 8.
Yeah, that started, Dermot. I think you called it. They started with a Sinclair attack on the footy then. And there's some really nice, clean Collingwood. Here it is here. A clean take from Wellingham. This is Thomas, I think it is. A clean take from Thomas. No fumbling. A clean take from Blair and another one from Beams. Yeah. Not one fumble amongst those 4 possessions. And that was the difference in scoring a goal and not scoring a goal. Lovely finish from Beams.
I'm going to take my hat off to young Sinclair, the way he ran at that footy. There's a lot of players in the league, not a lot, there's some who probably wouldn't have gone as hard at that moment. Risked his own safety there.
2 best contested possession teams in the competition, and there's 1 contested possession between them to this point of the game, as you saw. Vince, Tippett, can't mark it, right, he crumbs it. Flick forward by Yench. It might go the way. Touch through. And Tippett's cramping.
Is that Shaw versus Jacobs in the goal square? That was a terrific effort by Heath Shaw.
He's a really good one-on-one player. People think he's a good chain type player who gets in the link and he's very smart, but he's deceptively good in the one-on-ones.
Dowdy crashed the contest but knocked it down to Dale Thomas. Dawes can't mark. He's about to crumb it though. Wellingham might get there first. Toes it off the deck. Fortuitously. It goes through. The gods are smiling on Collingwood.
Yeah, Dermot, that was another clean take from Thomas. But have a look at this. This is a great effort from Shaw. I mean, look at the height difference between, and you touched on it. What a terrific effort. He is a good one-on-one defender, and here it is, just Wellingham off the deck, and that's just one of those ones, it's a bit of a hit and hope. Although he did look at the goal and he angled in that. I tell you, it was a key possession from Thomas again on the wing though. No fumble again. They've been really clean in the last couple of minutes, the Pies.
This game, to me, is a little bit like a golf tournament. You want to be the clubhouse leader, but the blokes who are coming second at the moment have the game to chase down this lead. This game has gone in ebbs and flows, and they're still capable.
Thomas with the important clearance. Sinclair beaten by Yench. That's a big win.
I'll tell you what, Dwayne, Daisy Thomas, that's 9 possessions this quarter. Really, really important quarter footy from him.
And in true footy time, we've had less than 10 minutes of football time.
And Rizzy, this will be a great learning experience if obviously Collingwood get up. But for the Adelaide Crows players, you're talking about Thomas there. They've hardened players. They've played in big games, and that's something that Adelaide will grow in the next year or so.
First game at Jamie Elliott gets his first touch in AFL footy. Puts it to the pocket.
That's
Crow fans call for a free. The umpire's thinking about it. It's ball. Collingwood fans get what they yelled for. And it's on.
You've got to make an attempt.
I'll tell you what, you've got Sloan hasn't had a touch yet. You've got Paul Pleasure on 1, Dangerfield on 1, and you go up the list, Riley 2. So they just haven't been able to get hold of the footy. Adelaide 37 possessions, Collingwood 56.
Big kick this. And he misses. and he's lucky to have scored. Crows get a break, but it's still the biggest lead of the game to either team. 14 points. The two old friends, the two old roommates, head-to-head for the first time. What a night at the office. Jenkins, arm slap through. Jacobs plays on. Thompson floats it forward.
That's a big panic hit.
Callanan makes the contest. Turvey right with him. Searches for the line and some help. Gets some in the form of Shaw. Had it but dumped. Thompson had it but lost it. Slaps it out to Douglas. The sub gets one for too high. Vince played onto advantage, but the umpire didn't let him. It'll come back.
It's extremely important here for Adelaide to keep their structure. That kick by Thompson was a poor kick. They're lucky to get out of it, but there's plenty of time still for them to win it, but they've got to stay disciplined with their structures.
Was a panic kick, wasn't it, Jagger? Callanan had to mark that. I mean, that was Sinclair. Sinclair goes for it. Callanan let it bounce and opted for a bit of self-preservation. This moment, you've got to go it.
Tippett, he stayed down. And he just scrapes it through for a behind.
So the difference in the game has just been maybe that absolute class at the moment, isn't it? I mean, it's just been such a close game, but it's been a couple of Pendlebury touches, a couple of Shaw touches, a couple of Thomas touches in this last quarter. That's really been the only difference in the game so far.
Well, I reckon it might be going out the other side. There we go.
Jolly's out there. Ball thumped away, eludes Pendlebury. Kicking in danger. It is deafening out there right now. Full house. All ticketed affair tonight, and they have roared with every possession. And Cloak takes it to the line. And there's another deafening roar. Football in all its glory.
Gee, there's not many around the pack.
From the flick down. Beams. Didak. Side bottom. Thomas.
Young Elliott could win it here.
Dowdy got a fist on it. Beams collects. Thomas. And it was 15. Didak marks.
Just noticed a couple of the Collingwood players playing basic football. The forwards are playing in front. And Adelaide are just dropping off. They've got to stay disciplined to the structures.
So Didak worked really hard.
Yeah. I think Didak's been important this last quarter, Derm. I was just going to say that. And Thomas is now up to 11 possessions.
Well, Didak was involved back flank on the defensive side of that boundary line throw-in and made a beeline sprint for the forward line to get the next, him being the next number into the contest. It's tailor-made for him.
One of their former match winners trying to find his old form again. He gives it plenty of shoe. It's long. Didak's back.
Yeah, I think so, Dwayne. I think it's a good call. I think it's been an important night for Didak tonight. He looked a little bit rusty early, just finding the tempo of the game, but he's had some really important touch. But this is a guy that's turned the game, Daisy Thomas, in the last quarter. He's been absolutely exceptional, 11 possessions. Another clean take. They've been really clean the last quarter, and this is a great finish from Didak. And this is the thing that separated the two teams, just that absolute class of Collingwood.
He's one of the few blokes who can get the ball not spinning perfectly in a drop punt and still get 60 metres carry on it.
Biggest margin of the game, 19 points. Time is of the essence now for Adelaide. No clearance to either side, ball up.
Yeah, they just haven't been able to get hold of the football, Dermot. I mean, Douglas has just come on, but he's got one. Jenkins one, Porplesia one, Dangerfield one, Smith one, Callanan one, Mackay two, Rutten two, Riley two. The list goes on. Adelaide, they just haven't had the football in this last quarter.
They've won their past 5 games in a row, Adelaide. They have not lost a game at Amy Stadium this year. They're staring at defeat right now. Riley, Douglas, Yench, kick and hope. Drop from Wellingham. That could be Adelaide's break. Williams gets there first though. Dangerfield hasn't really been able to have an impact, but gets a free. And look at the crowd.
Gee, the other lad, the first game of Marley Williams, has been given a bit of responsibility tonight, and he's come through.
Yeah.
Tippett, another contested mark for him. No one's in the square. He sees that now. He loads up from outside 50.
Flick the woodwork.
Yes.
That was a terrific kick. Yeah, great mark. That's that one-on-one contest that we expect Tippett to beat Maxwell at. He played on. It was just a...
But he played on. It was good football smarts. He wasn't much on, but he took the game on and tried to obviously win it off his own boot, or kick the goal off his own boot, which was great initiative for him.
Van Berlo just off the bench, fresh, gives to Jacobs, gives to Smith. O'Brien, fantastic use of the body, for sure. It's an even 3-goal game right now. Collingwood inspired though. Thomas, Goldsack. Back to Thomas. Shoots it wide, clever, Didak. I've seen this before.
I'll tell you, was that Thomas Dangerfield over the far side?
Yeah, awesome running by Daisy
Oh,
Thomas.
that was outstanding.
Ground level, Roosie, and exactly, he was with Dangerfield, but through the middle of the grounds. That's hard gut running at the latter stages of this game.
Now, he's only got 4 possessions in this last quarter compared to Daisy Thomas's 13. But he sure's been really important as well. His ability to skid past the ball on half-back line, receive it, and then kick. They've all been kicks that have gone to a target.
Kick one from here moments ago. Can't do it this time. Might be a handy behind. It's 19 points with 5 minutes left. Henderson. Tippett's come up to the wing. Almost the mark or the arm slap to Jolly. Clark wrapped up by Petrenko. No prior opportunity. Umpire will have to sort it out.
Now, if we pull away and have a look at the spread of players here, see on the right-hand side of the screen, that's Heath Shaw. Now, he's pointing, directing, he's saying who needs to play where. He's the general. He's actually the brains in that back line. He thinks the other players through their directions and what they have to do.
Flick out, but Doughty, dispossessed by Thomas, is playing his heart out in this final term. You'd expect nothing less. Thompson back against the run. Dawes a flick. Slowing the tackle on Blair.
Well, they haven't lost the appetite for the contest, Adelaide, but they've gone down in the contested possession this final quarter, 32-21. So they're 11 adrift there. They just, as you say, they haven't been able to get the ball, first hands on the ball when the ball's in dispute and give it to their runners on the outside.
Dangerfield gets it back. Van Berlo to the wing. Time against them now.
Now, this is where they need to make a tactical change, Dwayno, from the box. You need to get all your forwards back now. All your forwards back in the goals. They need to get less numbers around the stoppers, which goes against what they've been doing for the first 6 or 7 weeks, Dermot. But that's the only way. The only way they're going to win this game. They can't win the game with these amount of numbers around the football.
You need a quick break away from the congestion, and you've got to roll the dice.
And it also allows Harry O'Brien free, Jacko, in front of you. So if you've got to get your 6 forwards now back inside your forward 50, open up your stoppages. That's what you have to do as a coach.
Adelaide have to do here what Port Adelaide did with 3 minutes 50 on the clock last week. Douglas.
Go again, Douglas.
Jenkins flicks it. Callanan toes it. Douglas toes it. But they'll get a ball in. 3:39 left.
Now this is those ones. As a forward, right now, look at that mass of players. Which means if you get the ball in there, you've got a half a second to do something with it. Less traffic, you might get a second. So you try and pull your opponent away, making space.
Clark stood his ground. Henderson toes it back. Williams dispossessed. Beams.
So when Keith went off, I thought I held fears for Collingwood that they could do this. But the resilience of this club is, if there's a metre for it, it's at an all-time high. This is an extraordinary performance, and it's great to say that they've shown real heart. In an era of so many tactics, real heart wins out tonight.
Sloan drags down Harry O'Brien. Tooby takes it to the line, but we're down to 3 minutes.
And the class players have stood up, as you mentioned, Pendlebury and Daisy Thomas, but even spread, Dermot, amongst the second-tier players, just workmanlike. They knew they had to get the job done, and at this stage they look like they're going to get to the line.
Tooby lost it. Vince spun out of trouble, then into trouble. Calnan couldn't make something of it, and Shaw takes it to the line again. They've played 6 new players this year. 6 debutants in 2012, Collingwood, and 2 of them tonight. It's been a massive performance by them away from home, where Adelaide has not lost all year. Side bottom.
I'd love to get a video of some of the key contests in this last quarter, Dermot, because there hasn't been a fumbler in the Collingwood football team. Once again, I think it was Blair there that took that ball without a fumble, which allowed them to get the ball outside 50. And that's been the key difference in the last quarter. They're clean. They're so clean below their knees in this last quarter.
Blair again. Wellingham, side bottom, the usual suspects. Blair hassles his way to the ball and he makes Betteridge. Rutten trying to take it to the line, but he's spent.
Yeah, but he's gone.
Side bottom. Goldsack.
Well, he's centre half back, Goldsack. I reckon he's legitimately, I know we get a big swarm of players follow the ball down, but I still think right at this moment he's playing centre half back against Jenkins. You're so right. The other one, I mean, Pendlebury's always got clean hands, but Beams' hands below his knees and his strength is between his knee and his hip. That power to keep his feet, clean hands on, dish off or kick has been excellent.
The wasted 30 seconds as good as a goal there. 1 minute 26 left and the crowd are departing. The full house not full anymore. It'll be their first loss at Amy Stadium this year. And what a performance by Collingwood. 7 of their best 18 not playing tonight. And they lost Keefe just after they used their sub, Nathan Buckley. A new kid on the block.
He's done really well.
Dangerfield. Again, can't break free of Pendlebury. Arguably now the best player in the competition. Having an outstanding season, and he's had another outstanding night. And on cue, gets a clearance. Sinclair floats a little. Elliott stands under it the first gamer, couldn't jump onto it. He's waiting for it to come out. Cloak keeps it in there.
It's amazing, isn't it? I mean, we were marvelling at three-quarter time how close I mean, the stat with the biggest discrepancy was the interchange. It was 117 to 110. Everything else was so close, and it comes down to about 3 moments in a game that has separated these two teams.
Douglas to Talia. Buckley there, Maxwell there, tip it all the way up to half-back.
I think this win's going to give Collingwood an enormous amount of confidence. We saw it about round 18 last year. They were the dominant team in the competition. They fell away because of injuries, suspension, etc., etc. Still made the grand final. But I think this shows why most people consider them probably the most talented team in the competition. Dwayne, you mentioned they've got a number of players
Elliott
out.
flies, can't take the mark. Side bottom, sorry, Rosie. Right. There's your full stop. There's your heartbreaker.
And again, that's just the class, Dwayne, the class of Collingwood. And you take your hat off to Thomas 13 in the last, Sidebottom 9 in the last, Beams 8, Didak 8, Blair 7, Pendlebury 7, great fly. But this finish, and that's really been the only difference in the game. You've still got to give credit to the Crows. They've had a real dip for the whole night. But what we're seeing tonight is the might of Collingwood and the power of Collingwood and an excited Nathan Buckley.
And those pictures of Nathan Buckley paint 1,000 words, don't they? That is pure joy. And it's been pure footy tonight in all its glory. And the Collingwood fans away from home have seen one of their performances of the year. Hacked forward with just seconds remaining. Paul Pleasure the free, but the siren sounds.
Take a ping, kick a low talk. Maxwell, ever the professional, goes back to the goal line. Because if one they can't lose, but if one trickles through, look at him, shake the hand, but he'll be watching that footy, because if one trickles through, 8 point or a 6 pointer even, it all adds up at the end. It doesn't get anywhere near it, but that's the professionalism you have to have at this level, and he exudes it.
They are arguably the grandest of all the grand old clubs, Collingwood, but this is a new Collingwood. 6 wins in a row under Nathan Buckley, the reinvented, rejuvenated, reincarnated Collingwood Football Club by 26 points. 6-13-49 to 10-15-75. And Glenn Jakovic is with Alan Didak.
Yes, I certainly am, Dwayne. 21 possessions. He kicked a beautiful goal in the last quarter. Mate, it was a titanic tussle, real tight, but you came good in the last quarter there.
Oh, that's all right. You rate yourself against the best, and we come out and played tonight and really stuck it out for 4 quarters, and that's what you have to do against the best teams, and we did that, and what a great win.
Alan, have noticed 7 of your best 18 out of the side, but the even spread of your middle range players really stood up tonight, felt, when the game was there to be won.
Well, that's right. We've got great depth. We've got a lot of players out. Some can't come back this season, but it just shows that you put a lot of time and effort into these young kids. They can become good players.
Your defensive pressure has been a hallmark over some years, but I guess in the last quarter there you kept Adelaide goalless. I mean, it's really starting to gel together now.
Well, that's right. Early on in the season, we're probably leaking too many goals, and slowly we're getting better and better, and showed tonight that if we stick it out for 4 quarters, we can be a good team.
Alan, well done. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, mate.